What's up, everybody? This is Steve with Entering into Space, and what are we talking about today? We're talking about photometric continuum subtraction. It's a big word, all compressed into one. It's a really cool script my buddy Tommy out in Colorado Astro hooked me up with as far as separating out the HA from the red channel or the RGB, so you can add it back in with a lot of success. And the galaxy that we're going to use this on is M106. And if you shot M106 before, you know that it's a pretty easy target to find. It's a good beginner galaxy to shoot. But if you don't know this, and if we look over here, we're looking at like Astrobin. If you look at some of these galaxies here, this one they were able to capture it, but most of these M106 versions all pretty much the same. They're great galaxies, but there is some serious HA detail in here. As a matter of fact, get back over there. As a matter of fact, when I was shooting it and I saw what I was getting when I was really pouring some HA on it, I actually went back and shot more. And to show you something that I ran into a little bit of issue with here really quick, if you don't mind me going off on a slight tangent, we're going to go to weighted batch preprocessing. I'm going to show you a setting, if this happens to you, that you can trigger. But what I ended up doing was, when I saw all this HA data, I was shooting 360-second subs. That's some really good moonless nights. So I ended up trying to shoot a little longer sub exposure on the HA to really pull in some more HA data. So I believe over here, yes, in post calibration, if you were to shoot, you see how all these exposures are 360 seconds. So, but let's say like in my case, I had a whole another set of HA exposures at 480 seconds. This little dialog box that says exposure tolerance, it's basically 2 seconds. Within 2 seconds is what it's saying. So what I did is I just bumped that exposure tolerance up to like 500 seconds. So what it did was it actually grouped the 360 second and 480 second HA exposures into one master image. So if you ever find like if you're shooting and you forget, man, did I shoot 180? Did I shoot 300? What did I shoot? And you realize that you have two different length exposures, that's the way you're going to combine them into one. Otherwise, that's set at 2, you would have a 360 second master and a 480 second master. I know you're like, dude, just get to the deal, man. All right, let's get to the deal. I'm listening. You said it, I listen. All right, so we got some pretty cool, these are our images over here. This is our luminance, red, blue, and green, and our HA. So what I want to do, let's open up our luminance here. Let's do a real-time preview. So I want to focus on the core today because that's where this killer HA data is, and that's where we're going to be using photometric continuum subtraction. So let's go ahead and open up dynamic crop, and let's get really aggressive here. Let's rotate it. I always find that galaxies frame the best when you go from corner to corner as opposed to kind of flattish like that, maintaining something like that. But we're really gonna sneak in here on this thing, try to show as much of the galaxy as we can, clipping a little bit of the galaxy off, but I'm not too worried about it. Corner to corner, we're a little bit better there. I like that. So let's drag that off. Let's put that little instant down there. Let's close the tool. Say yes. And we're going to minimize that one. Now, before we go any further, I grouped all these together. These were all processed in WBPP. This one was separate, so I need to align it. So we're going to process all processes. I do that all the time. Star alignment. Just grab our red channel. Doink. Our HA is the one that we're going to align. And hit proceed. Proceed to alignment. Cool. Let's close down the tool. Now we have HA registered. Looks pretty good. Let's minimize it. Let's take this one and delete it. We don't need it anymore. Cool. All right, here's a cool little shortcut, I guess is what I'm going to call it, shortcut. Anyway, so we have all these to crop, and I used to open them up, drag it over and drop it. Did that so many times before. Let's do a little different this time. We're going to right click on the screen, come down here to image container, click it. We can either go find the images in a file, or we can add the views that are open. So click add view, and then we're going to say select all and OK. And then we're going to take that instance and drag it off. So now all these open views that are name orientated, meaning named this, are all stuck in here. So now we just have to drag this over and plop it on that little dynamic crop instance that we created. Done. Do you see that? Let me redo it. No, you don't. So look. Pew. Oh, that's going to be sick. Sickness. So you can say that. Now, what happens is if these get renamed for some reason or another, like let's say we run these through DBE and DBE sticks a DBE nomenclature on the end, then you would have to create another image container. But for right now, let's put that right there. Let's go ahead and what we're going to do next. Oh, yeah. Let's do a little bit of gradient cleanup on these. So we're going to open this up. Kind of been running a dual, like a tag team kind of deal here. I've been using gradient correction and Graxpert. Don't know if that's the right way to do it, but I like the results, so middle fingers. All right. I do want to check automatic convergence. I am going to leave structure protection checked, and I'm going to drag and drop. Didn't really do a whole lot, but if I open up the toolbox, Jurgen's toolbox, down here to Graxpert, I'm actually going to create an instance for that because I leave it all pretty much default. And I'm going to put that right there. Then I can just drag and drop. So, oh yeah, very nice. Cool. So see, now it's named it. If I want to make another image container, I would have to start over. Cool. So red. So teeny tiny now. Oh, too close. I don't know if that gradient correction is really going to do much to that. Let's run Graxpert on it. Yeah. Didn't lose any of the galaxy. Red. Blue. That's how I zoom in. I do zoom. A baby shark zoom. Graxpert again. See what, oh, yeah. Alright. Alright then, that's the way you want to be. You want to be awesome. Go ahead. Green. I don't know why I'm taking the time to make that bigger. Just ams. Right on. And I had a little weirdness with this HA though when I got some streaking in here. Not really sure. But look at that. Look at this right here. Anyway, let's see if Graxpert does anything to kind of clean that up. Yeah, a little bit. It's worth it. Yes. All right, so this image container is now shite. We can delete it. Not too worried about my little streaking issue because I'm just going to be pulling out the HA. Now, close down gradient. Okay, so let's go ahead and extract the HA from this image using the red data to compare it. So let's go in here. I will leave the repository link in the description. but if we go to manage repositories, this is the link right here. I'll leave this up. Write it down really quick. Are you done? Did you do it? No, too late. Okay, so when you actually get it to work, you're going to come to script, and you're going to see a whole nother category called night photons. And you're going to come in here to Photometric Continuum Subtraction. Written by Charles Hagen. I have no idea who Charles Hagen is, but if I could buy him a beer, I would, because this script is pretty badass. All right. Most scripts are flip-flop. They want the narrowband, then the hydrogen. Don't get that confused, because if you do, you're just going to have a blank image. Make sure you do that the right way. So the narrowband drop-down list is going to be the HA registered Graxpert. Broadband is going to be the red image. We do want to check generate starless, and pretty much everything is default after that. So we just set execute. And just like in photometric color calibration, you get this line here, broadband versus narrowband flux. You know, I wish I was block smart and could dissect all this stuff, but I just like using these things. All right, so let me close that out. First image you're going to get is the starless. Look, you see all little HA. I mean, is that not freaking awesome or what? It's like popping tags. All right, let's minimize that. I'm actually gonna set that and call this new underscore HA. It's my new HA. Click OK to that. This one here is pretty much the same thing, but you see the stars are still kind of in here. Not sure why they give you two choices. I don't know. I don't ever use this one, so I just get rid of it. Okie dokie. Let's go ahead and create a color image. Let's open up channel combination. Let's put these images in their appropriate receptacles. Red, green, and blue. Hit apply global in channel combination. Let's do a automatic stretch. Cool. All right. Save that. Yeah, nice and blue. Nope, we're not using that. We're going to come up here to script, down to the old Jurgen's toolbox, and go to automatic linear fit. Check. F12, and then we reset the auto stretch. Muy bien. Let's do an auto color on it, and then we'll check. Seems like we still have a little gradients in here we may want to deal with. Let's go to script, utilities. Wait. Yeah, utilities, and then auto color. All right, that's saying it's done. I still see a gradient, so let's open up a gradient correction here. Remember, we didn't run gradient correction on these. We just ran Graxpert. Well, what do you know? I think that worked pretty dang good. So let's correct this before we stretch it. It could use some correction. Not that it's wrong. It just needs to be corrected. So blur, exterminator, correction, drag and drop. Cool. And to minimize that, this is our RGB. So let's set that identifier RGB. This is our new HA. We can correct that even though we don't have the stars in it. Actually, what we're going to do, if we're not going to correct it, we're going to turn off all the sharpened stars. We're going to leave this non-stellar sharpening at the default. Drag and drop. Oh yeah. Very nice. I think the other thing I want to do with this HA is I want to run a little bit of noise reduction on it. I'll put it at about 50%. Leave it at 2 iterations. And reset the scale to 24 bits. Yes. Much better. Okay. So let's stretch these two. Shall we? F12. We're going to open up GHS, or at least we're going to attempt to open it. Do a real-time preview. Check the background levels. So let's zoom in 250%. Click log view. Kind of off the left-hand side. So let's click right here. Right about there. We're going to reset that as the black point. So generalized hyperbolic stretch. We're going to come down here and click linear. Let's set that to the black point. Click that. And then accept it. Cool. Now we want to click right at the top of that peak, just behind the point there. If I want to, I can zoom in to see that just a little bit better. Right about there, we're going to use that as our symmetry point. Say send to symmetry point, and now we're going to perform a stretch. Right about there. We don't want to blow it out because we've got some really bright areas in here. Let's protect them just a little bit by moving the local intensity forward. Okay. Let's reset that black point again. Remember, I can grab my little tool here. Right about there. Send to BP. Oops. There you go. Send that to BP. Seems a little dark, but I can adjust it. Right about there. Accept it. And then I want to kind of highlight some of that fainter HA. Send that to the symmetry point. Cool. That's pretty good. So one thing I want to do with this HA is create a mask. So I'm going to open up range selection. Do a real-time preview. Take this lower limit, slide it forward. And that's going to start to drop in a mask. About there. And then let's smooth that mask up a little bit. So we got everybody. I think we got everybody in the pool. Let's back it off. Oh, not that much. Oh, not that much. Right about there. Smooth it out just a little bit more. And accept it. So this is our range mask for our HA. We're going to apply that to our RGB image when we insert this new hydrogen. So minimize that. Let's open up our RGB. We're going to stretch it. Using the same tool, GHS. Turn off log view. And let's zoom in one time. Whoa, where'd she go? She's way off the left-hand side. So click that right there. That's going to be our new black point. Change the transformation type to linear. Send to BP and accept. Kill the real-time preview and open up a new one that's linked to the tool. All right. So let's zoom in once. Let's do the log view. We can see this is kind of the central point of our peaks. We're going to come just behind it, still staying on the gray. Click right there. Say that is our symmetry point for stretching. This is basically sky background is to the right and most everything else is to the left. Oh man. Like that. It's about as aggressive as I want to be. I'm going to push that local intensity down, kind of tame that brightness. Cool. Now you can see we lost some color, so let's get some of that color back. Let's switch the RGB to color. And you'll notice sometimes you do that, you'll see some really garish color popping up here, so you can just adjust this color blend back down. But not to worry on this one. we can leave it at full speed. Accept that. What else do we want to do here? Let's brighten up some of this core right here. Send the symmetry point. You can see the core is starting to brighten up. Pushing this local intensity gives us a little bit more of like a local histogram effect. But this right here got faint, so let's protect some of this lighter area by protecting our shadows. Cool. All right, let's add our HA. Minimize the tool. Go in your script. Back to old Jurgen. Combine HA with RGB. It's an amazing script. Now, we are not using linear images. We're gonna select our RGB. Our mask is gonna be that range mesh that we use, which is right here. And then we want to uncheck invert mask. And now we want to add the new HA. Bam. Shabam. Did you watch that? Let's zoom in. Look at that. Now we can increase the amount. Very cool. I think I'm going to accept that. I'm going to do something kind of crazy here. I'm going to really try to get those little devil horns. Those little devilly horns. Let's open up this new HA here. Let's make a clone. Clone it. These little guys right here kind of tend to blow out before this really gets saturated. So let's open up process, all processes, clone stamp. And let's wipe out. Oh, why I was doing that? Why the heck was I doing that? Drop down the opacity, beef up the softness, control. Let's take a lot of this away. We only want to focus on these little tendrils that are coming out of the core. Some of the fainter HA elements. And right about there. Cool. And come back in here to script, toolbox, combine HA. Same process. RGB. Mask is a range mask. Invert it. Uncheck linear. H alpha is now going to be a new HA clone. And see that just kind of, I don't know if you can see it in YouTube land, but that just really kind of enhanced this. These little tendrils. We can really push it. We could be a lot more aggressive now. Oh, that's so nice. What do you think about it? Are you stoked? Are you excited? You want to go out there and shoot this yourself? Do it. I did shoot 03, and there was a secondary tendril right here in 03. But I just never did like the combination of it. So I didn't incorporate it into this process. Select it. All right, so there's our RGB. I think we can open up GHS one more time. And in this mode, we're going to add some saturation. So we're going to be pretty cautious with that. There you go. What about there? And we got a lot of chrominance noise in here. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on there, but could you imagine like living right here somewhere, seeing all these galaxies or all these nebulas, and then looking at this big thing somehow or another? Nuts. Let's open up a convolution. Let's get rid of some of that chrominous noise. Right about there. Just smooths it out. Gets ready for the luminance. Smooth. Minimize it. Smooth that over there so we know we're ready. Alright, so the details. Let's open up Blur Exterminator. We're going to run some correction on it. Very cool. Let's reset the tool. I'm going to leave Sharpen Non-Stellar at default. I'm going to back down Sharpening Stars a little bit. Basically deconvolve this data in the linear state. Very nice. And I'm going to run just a touch, just a smidge of noise reduction. All right. I like it. Killed the auto stretch. Open up GHS. Zoom in. And she's gone. Let's bring it back. Let's go find it. Right there. Set the black point. And then accept it. Zoom in again. Let's do the log view. Right behind it. Set that as our symmetry point. And stretch. Whoops. And stretch. I feel like one of those 80s workout videos. And stretch. And 2. And 3. I want to see a full galactic profile here. Alright, so let's adjust that local intensity down. Oh, that is spectacular. Let's pick that right there. I'm going to stretch maybe some of this core, just kind of work on this core a little bit. Cool. Take the highlights. Come to this outside area. You can do that. Right about there. Right on. I think I'm going to leave that just like that. Now, I don't see anybody else doing this. I think this needs to be done, but in very conservative, in a very conservative manner. But I think we need to add the HA to the luminance. I think that gives that a better punch in the final image. If your luminance isn't trying to swamp your HA, but it actually has the structural data in it. So let's go over here, back to script, toolbox, combine HA with RGB. Now we're going to combine the luminance, linear. We're going to use our mask, range mask, and we're going to do our new HA. What did it do wrong? What did it do wrong? Did something wrong. Or maybe it didn't. Oh, we forgot to invert the mask. Invert mask. Dang! There you go. Now you got to be careful with this because this can actually look a little funky if you don't. See how it's just blown these out here? Yeah, gotta be careful of that. I've noticed you got to push this down some. So the structure's starting to get in there. You know, we've got this HA highlighted in here. We've just set the tone. See, that's a better looking luminance. Cool. All right, let's combine them, shall we? Let's open up a channel combination. We're going to choose the CIE Lab, which is a better visual representation of what the eye sees, just as PixInsight on their YouTube channel. And I find it does work pretty good. We're going to uncheck the A and B channel on that, scratch our ear, dump our luminance, drop it on the image. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah? Like, yeah? I didn't adjust my glasses earlier. I have to do that. Looks better when I have a hat on. Alright, let's add some saturation. Real-time preview. Yeah, way down here. Not too much. The C component. Ooh. Somewhere in there. I feel like it's got a tad bit green on us. Take some of that out. Yeah. And let's do one more little round of blur exterminator. I don't think we're going to mess with the stars too much. Let's turn them off. Let's do a real-time preview. Let's just do a section in here. Doink. See what it looks like. It's really getting some of these smaller filaments. HA is a little. These little guys are tough, man. They're just tough. Let's dump it on the whole image and see what it looks like. Yeah, it's not bad. That is not bad at all. I don't think we can saturate this whole image much better. Yeah, I'm like, Steve, you're doing a video. Please speak or something. No, I'm pretty excited about that one. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Kind of done. I'll see you later. Could use a little bit of noise reduction. Guess let's do that if you want. I suppose. Noise reduction. Let's run full scale. 3 iterations. Cool. I don't know. You know, we've got some brightness in the core. We could try to come in here and compress it with some HDMR or HDR multi-scale transformation. Don't know if it's going to do much. We can dump on and see. It's probably going to look pretty gross. Yeah. Ugh. I like it bright. You ever just have an image where you just put it on and you're like, oh, I'm done. Now what do I do? I think that's kind of the image. Yeah. Okay. See ya. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, I wish I had more to share. It went really quick. Quicker than I thought it was going to go. But yeah, I'll leave a link in the description for the repository. Please download it. And I wish there was a way to donate to some of these guys that write these scripts because they're pretty awesome. Yeah. I guess that's all I got. Shit. All right. See you guys. Peace out. Clear skies, clear minds.